Hello everyone, myself Malay Pandey. I am the first year law student at Atal Bihari Vajpayee School of Legal Studies, CSGM University, Kanpur, and I am currently working as an intern under Singh and Malik Associates. First of all, I would like to thank Samay Singh Batra sir for giving me the opportunity to prepare a video lecture that is PPT based on the issue of PIL. So, as far as the first slide is considered, firstly we need to know what is a PIL. So, PIL is basically the short form or the abbreviation to public interest litigation, wherein the petitions are filed in the court of law for violation of any fundamental rights that are enshrined in our constitution. So basically we have some fundamental rights, and at any point of time if we feel that our fundamental rights are violated, we can go to the Supreme Court under Article 32 and 226 of the Indian Constitution that restore our fundamental rights. However, when these rights are vested in the interest of the public through a litigation, then this concept is called as public interest litigation. So basically, public interest litigation is a concept under the theme of judicial activism. Now, judicial activism, as far as considered, is the point where judiciary steps ahead of the other organs, of the other two organs of the governance of Indian society, that is basically the legislature and the executive. So judiciary, when steps up against the actions of executive and legislature, then what we find is the concept of judicial activism. So basically, public interest litigation is a concept under judicial activism when judiciary finds that it should take a necessary step for the benefit of the people, for the restoring of the rights of the people, and for preventing any biasness against the people that is being continued by the people from the executive and the legislature, then this concept is called as judicial activism. And basic medium or the best medium to exercise judicial activism is through PIL or public interest litigation. About the three components that are associated with public interest litigation or the concept of PIL. So these three components are public, that is for the advantage of the community as a whole. Second one is the interest. Interest herein refers to legally protected choices of the community. Third is litigation, which means legal action which is enforced in a court of law for seeking remedy. So basically these three are the components that make a PIL or public interest litigation, and I have also defined that what actually these three means. This slide basically talks about that what should be a requirement or a type of a case for which the PIL can be entertained by the court. So the issues that include such thing are bonded labor. First of all, all the matters of the bonded labor are included under the head of public interest litigation. The second one is neglected children. The third is the non-payment of minimum wages to workers and exploitation of casual workers and complaints of violation of labor law. So the thing is that it should be collective in nature. If the minimum wage thing should be collective in nature, then only a public interest litigation can be filed, because public or the community is the basic element of public interest litigation. The fourth one is regarding harassment of the prisoners. So petitions that come from the jails complaining of harassment and seeking the release after having completed 14 years in jail, death in jail, transfer, release on personal bond, speedy trial. So all this is under the ambit of public interest litigation. The fifth is petition against the police for refusing to register a case, harassment by police, and death under the police custody. Next, we come to the atrocities that women face and the issues that in the form of PI can be raised in the court of law. These include harassment of the bride, bride burning, rape, murder, kidnapping, etc. The seventh thing is regarding the petitions complaining of harassment or torture of villagers by co-village or by police from persons belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and economically backward classes. So basically creating a caste differentiation and then torturing those people is under the ambit of public interest litigation, or a litigation can be filed for a suit action against the same. The next is the petitions that is regarding the riot victims, and the last one, or the second last one rather, is regarding the family pension. The last one is also an important aspect of the public interest litigation, because various cases have been filed under this ambit, and this includes cases regarding environmental pollution, disturbance of ecological balance, drugs, food adulteration, maintenance of heritage and culture, antiques, forest and wildlife, and others of public importance. The foundation of the activism in the society through the medium of public interest litigation in India was laid down in the case of Kamagar Sabha versus Abdul Thai in the year 1976, and was further initiated in the case of Akhil Bharatiya Social Karamchari Sangh Railway versus Union of India 1981, wherein an unregistered association of workers was permitted to institute a writ petition under Article 32 of the Constitution of India for the concept of the welfare of the workers. In another landmark case of SP Gupta versus Union of India and others, it was held that PIL can be filed by any person even if their fundamental rights are not violated, provided that he is acting in a bona fide manner, that is, with the true intention for the community at large. Earlier, only the aggrieved parties could bring the case, but with the passage of the locus standi was relaxed gradually. The most outstanding case that deals with the concept of public interest litigation, that is a subject matter of judicial activism, is from the case of Vishakha and others versus State of Rajasthan and others. In this case, the PIL was initiated by an NGO through which for the first time the sexual harassment at workplace was designated as an offence by the court of law, and in the presence of legislative vacuum in India during the times this worked out as a law against the issue. Later on, the Parliament of India enacted the Sexual Harassment at Workplace 2013, wherein the guidelines of the courts were used to enact a law on the subject.